quick notes before we get going. These are very subjective. These are theory crafted. These will not be your loadout, your perfect loadout. So use these theory crafted support loadouts as a reference point to build your own loadout, or just take the whole thing and use it yourself. But these are mainly supposed to be a building point for future loadouts for me and future loadouts for you. So use these as a guideline, a reference, or whatever. So that's a quick little side note before we get going into this. So I know not all of them will be perfect, the best, and like we'll probably do another one of these later on as season 3 goes on, as I figure out more. So let's start this. We'll be going over all supports. We'll be going over every single support, and then we'll be going over Torvald and Skye, because they're both kind of supporting now. So let's do this. Supports. Damba. This also is going to be a thing. We're going to delete every single old build and not look at them, and just go for it. We're going to leave the default builds for now and do as many as we can without using those. So, all right. So Damba. The first one we're going to touch is, even though I don't think Spirits Chosen is going to be the play now, I still want to make like a default loadout for him. I think it's still the same. Even though Swift Spirits was reduced, Possession's always good. Eerie Presence 3 or 4. Oh god, Snake Pit's meh now. 2% is way too low. I can't run Otherworldly. I used to run Otherworldly, if you guys didn't know. I think it could actually still be used. It's very interesting. 375 health shield. Jesus. Okay. What else? Is there anything else to give movement speed? Because I think movement speed's massive on Damba. Like, I just don't think 10% is worth it for that many points. Swift Spirits is still pretty worth it at 20%. Ritual Magic. I think you almost need mini gourds. This Venomous Gourd could actually be good now due to the reduction of life or cauterize. All right, let's run mini gourds. We'll go mini gourds like 3. Yeah, this isn't bad for a default loadout. And if you want Eerie Presence 4, you reduce 1 off of many gourds and put it into Eerie Presence. Instead of many gourds, I might just run Otherworldly, because I think living is the best thing on Damba. So yeah. Yeah, I think this is good. I think living is the most important. I think Feed the Spirits might be good now. I can't put that many points into it, so 30% isn't that big of a deal for Damba because his cooldowns are short. Gourd, it could be pretty good, taking 3 seconds off. So yeah, you can run any of those cards. Otherworldly 3, Many Gourds 3, or maybe even Feed the Spirits 3. So that's Damba. That's like his main build for me, at least. Main build, and Eerie Presence, you can put 1 in, maybe reduce 1 off Swift Spirits or your other card. Main build. All right, Gourd next. Let's talk about Gourd. Gourd legendaries. Many Gourds. Let's just run 5 at the beginning and see where we go from there. Eerie Presence 3. Possession is a must in these builds. Some self-sustain. We can get it at 2. Yeah, this is still a must. You still need Eerie Presence because the right-click heal is still good. You need Eerie Presence on Damba. I don't think you need Possession. You need Many Gourds. These are musts right here in a Gourd build. These are musts. This is a 1-point card, and honestly, I'm just gonna run another 1-point card because if you want to run Eerie Presence 3 or 4, you're gonna run Possession 5 because it's your only like way to live. So you reduce 1 from here if you want Eerie Presence 4. Never run 5, by the way. Never run Eerie Presence 5. It's never worth it because you buy Chronos. And Chronos will reduce it. With Chronos 1 or 2, it reduces it to... it makes your misses Eerie Presence 5 anyway if you have it at 4. So 1-point card. If I want a 1-point card... I mean, Otherworldly is still good for 1 point. Feed the Spirits. Reduce 1 second off your... reduce 1 second off your Gourd is pretty good. Or you can... If you're running Eerie Presence 3, you could do this. So I think Feed the Spirits is way better in this build because it reduces it off its base cooldown, not its cooldown off of the card. So yeah, this is pretty good. I think Feed the Spirits, if you're running Possession 5, Feed the Spirits is really good because you're very survivable. Yeah. And let's do one like wacky build. No. Oh, let's do this because I think this actually might be meta. Stun. I think stun might be meta because because the wait, damage was reduced from 700 to 500, wasn't it? I still think it's gonna be meta. Because of the reduction to resilience. So let's look at this. You don't want to run sustenance in this one. Feed the spirits might not be bad. Man, any of these cards would be good. Incorporeal's good. Feed the spirits can be good because you're still popping heals on people. Possession still can be good because you're supposed to be healing people at the same time and to get the DR. And maybe run some ritual magic. So sustenance 5, incorporeal 2, ritual magic 3, possession 3, feed the spirits 2. Very sustainable build here. Let's just name it stun for now. Something very sustainable. You have a lot of health, 2300 health with 40% increased healing, and it works off ritual magic. You could always do this. You always want some DR in your build though. It'll make you way more tanky. What's better though, 4% or extra healing? I think they're both good. I'd rather have the DR though because it's more consistent and can't be caughted no matter what. Even though you have sustenance. DR can never be changed. Healing can. So I think possession's more worth it. But ritual magic is still good for the self-sustain over time with sustenance. So, yeah. I think this is pretty good for a stun loadout. Very survivable. Has some sort of reduction in your cooldowns. You should always be healing people with this with your right click. You can gorge yourself though. No Eerie Presence in this build though. So maybe if you want to run Eerie Presence, I'd go into Incorporeal, take that out, and do something like this. But yeah, I'd rather run Incorporeal in this and just like really focus on hitting my heals. Whoa. Where'd I have that point at? Ritual Magic. There it is. Alright, stun. Stun build. Alright, that's Damba. It's like we're speedrunning this. Let me look at chat real quick. You only run Eerie Presence 2. Jesus. It's still 700. Oh, okay, got you. The base does 200. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me there. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is Damba. I think these are like... I think this is it for now for Damba. Like, the build doesn't change that much with the main build. I'm still running Otherworldly because like, I think survivability on Damba is massive because his dash doesn't do much. Gourd. I think this is the best Gourd loadout I can get because you need many Gourds 5. And then stun. I think stun's good. All right, yeah, that's Damba. Boom. Jenos. And then delete. I don't think Jenos will change much. I need to look at a couple things for reference. Abilities. The Astral Mark is 7 seconds. It still is 10 seconds. The 7-second cooldown. I think they changed that. Not 100%. Okay, so... Loom. Luminary. Lumi. So... Cooldown. 7 seconds. 5 seconds. Duration. Sorry, I'm trying to do math real quick. Are defaults any good? I have not checked. Is the patch live? Yes. So 5-second cooldown with a 12-second duration. Not including Chronos. Gives you 2 heals on somebody. And then a 3rd heal on somebody. For 2 heals. And then a 3rd heal on somebody for 2 seconds of the 5-second cooldown. With Chronos 2, it's about 2 to 3 people healed at a time. I mean, you can run this. Like the build doesn't have to change much from the old build. Still something very simple. I think Falling Star becomes way more interesting. Or not Falling Star, but something else. I think the build doesn't change much. Relativity isn't that important. I mean, relativity, you're supposed to be super safe on Jenos. Usually I run Light Years 4, but we're going to run 3 for now. Yeah, I mean, the build doesn't change much from last one with Luminary. But the big thing I want to look at is this card. Power of the Cosmium. Wait, no. Wait, they are crippled. They are still crippled. Okay, hold on. So So let's look at this. Cripple. Because of the reduction of resilience, I think this becomes way more viable as a build. Falling Star. Maybe 4. Usually don't need 100%. Usually want like 60 or 80%, just like in Droxus. Retrograde, let's go 5. Light Years, 3. Astral Cycle, 2. What is it? Because it's so low now, it allows for more points. Maybe you run 60%, an extra 0.4 seconds. This could be good. There's something good to this build. Or this, like, talent. Especially with the reduction to Resi. So, 60%, how long does it last? 2.5 seconds. Reduces it to about 1 second. So they're up in the air for still 1 second. In a game like Paladins, 1 second makes a pretty big difference. So if you can max 60%, yeah. I'm forgetting a card though. I'm forgetting this, Heavenly Pool. I feel like I still want Heavenly Pool in this build. But if I want to run this as like a, I still want to try this as a main support. But like you can run this as an off support. So if you're going to run this as an off support, maybe the 1.2 seconds won't be that big of a difference because you're constantly getting heals up on people. So maybe you get rid of this for Heavenly Pull 3. So, we'll do this, grip, off / main. I'll do something like that with that. And you want the cooldown so you're not fully relying on your Falling Star for your cooldowns. And if you don't get the kill, you still have the cooldown reduction base. So I think that's very important in Retrograde instead of Astral Cycle. I was debating that in my head for a second, but alright, that's the grip build. Off / main support. I think this is going to work for both. And then binary, I mean, binary build's a binary build. It's still relativity 5. Is it binary? Yeah, I think that's it. Relativity 5. You want to be able to just duel with this build. Binary is very much an off support build. You're not a main support. So you want to be able to duel with some cooldown reduction on the heals so you can keep heals up. It's binary. Oh, it's binary. Jesus. Thank you. This isn't as important. 1 point card. You don't need it. You don't need ammo on or reload speed on him. He has 24 shots. So you can still run Heavenly Pool because it's very, 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 very good 1 point card. What's your shots hit for? 360 with binary? This could be good instead of base health now. This actually could be pretty decent with a reduction of caught. So in this build, you could either run base health or the lifesteal. It's something I'd have to test. For sure. Sorry, mouse should be fixed now. Whoops. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, you can run either or. Either or is good. And then run the other one at like maybe a 1 point card or whatever. So yeah, that's binary. Thank you for correcting me, chat. Yeah, that's Jenos. Luminary. Luminary, the build doesn't change much besides 1 point out of Light Years, 1 in the Astral Cycle. Grip, off main support. This actually could be a build now with the way supports are. You can run like double off support Jenos and something else and grip people since Resi is reduced. So this might be a relevant build nowadays. In the binary, I think the grip build's more relevant than binary. But who knows? Next. Grover. Grovito. Oh, Grover, my baby. See you later. Bop, bop, bop. Okay. So, main build. I don't think Rampant Blooming is now the main build for Grover. 300 over 3 seconds. Wait, was that reduced? Was that increased? Was this always 300 over 3 seconds BTS? I don't remember. But base heal, they increased to 750. A main build for Rampant. So, call it RB. Rampant Blooming. Perennial. Verdant. Unstoppable. Okay, I just want to look at that for a second. Adrenaline 1, Barkskin 1. So I don't think the build changes much. I still think that Radius... What's the cooldown? 1.6? Base cooldown's 10. They reduced Perennial. I don't actually remember. But DR is still important, and I think even though they put AoE into Grover's base kit, I still think Verdant Expanse is still super important. I think every percent you can get for the AoE is massive on Grover. Getting everybody in the heal and not having to overextend for heals on Grover is just invaluable. Perennial, yeah, it was nerfed. Okay. So, like, you need to run it higher, but you can't. It's very hard to. You can do this. This is probably better now. It's hard to justify that 0.4 for 6, or what is it, 8%, 6% DR? I can't justify that. So I think this is the build for Rampant Blooming. Yeah. Now, where it gets spicy is Deep Roots and Ferocity. And I think mainly Deep Roots because of Fatalis. So let's check that out real quick. Fatalis. Any enemy with crippling throw reduces cooldown Blossom by so many seconds. Fatalis with Chop Down, with some Verdant, some Unstoppable, and maybe not even Perennial anymore. Maybe Adrenaline. 4-4-3-2 or 3-3. 4-4-3-3. Something like this. This build is really awkward, though, because there's so many points that you need to make this build good. You want Adrenaline because you're well, you don't really need Adrenaline. Adrenaline's fine at 1. 10% cooldown is amazing. Good. DR is amazing. Maybe we reduce, and AoE is amazing. And you want Chop Down so you can combo with Fatalis. Let's name this Root. Root.
Did you make Skye loadout to playing any games?
Jay, thank you for the $2 super chat. Did you make Skye loadout? No, that'll be later on. And play any games. Maybe after we do this. Yeah, so yeah, this is for Root. I think this could be off/main. I think you can main support with this or off support with this. Yeah, I think this is as good as it's gonna be for now. Maybe I put more time and effort into it later, but I think this is good. I think this is good. Again, I think AoE is still very important. And like I said, I think any percent of AoE extra you can get on Grover is amazing. Because for 2 reasons. Is it 2 reasons? Yeah, 2 reasons. 1, you can get as many people in the heal as you can to get the extra healing on somebody. And 2, it allows you not to overextend as much on Grover to get the heal, since he's a very in the middle of stuff kind of healer. So any percent extra on the healing lets you be that a little bit further back away from the action to stay alive. That's why I value AoE, or the AoE increase, just tenfolds. Probably way more than a lot of people. Exclamation point commands, Red Boy. Red Boy. And then Ferocity. I personally, chat, I think a Ferocity build is a main build. I think when you run Ferocity as a main or off support, you should be using this build, your main build for Grover. So now that's my outlook on Ferocity. But there's other opinions on Ferocity that's to be had, and those are stuff like this. Vine range, so when you vine in on something, you can get out. Like you vine in and ult, you get low, you can ult out. Vine range, stuff like this. Adrenaline. Now, I'm not going to fully make this build because very hard to. DR is also always important for any loadout. Outside name dude. I plan to post this as a video later, so if you miss some, it'll be in a video form later tonight. So like some DR in this, base health, fine range, but yeah. This is some ferocity build that some people run, something similar to this. Let me see. It's a very European thing. This him? I don't know which one's him. This one is his. Okay, well, yeah, something like that. But I think when you use ferocity, you should use a main healing build. Yeah, that's about it. Grover doesn't change much. I think it's very similar to the old build. But the thing that changes is Root might be viable now as a main or off support, as running it as a main and off support. So, yeah, that is Grover. Okay, Pip, let's do this. Get back to Pip. Pip's got, this looks weird. Even at like the highest graphics, it still looks weird. Okay, so loadouts. Bye-bye, 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 bye-bye. I'm very interested to see this. Wait, why do you run Acrobatics Trick and Combat Medic with the default loadout? These default loadouts are a lot better, I have to say. Actually, I do want to check something about Combat Medic before we jump into these decks, because
every dent in my armor.
There is one thing to check. So I assume this still doesn't work because it didn't work before. Okay, it doesn't. Okay. All right, so moving on. Had to check that real quick just to make sure. Okay, we'll do Combat Medic first. Combat Medic, CM. Pep in the Step. I really like Pep in the Step. I think Pep in the Step is a really undervalued card right now on Pip in general. You need Gift Giver because you need self-sustain. Smithereens 1. Extra ammo in Combat Medic is amazing. And maybe some Medicinal Excellence. Maybe some Moxie. Maybe some Shrewd Move. Let's run Medicinal. We can run Reload 5 with this. With Pep in the Step 5 as well. Or we can run Pep in the Step 4 and some extra AoE on the heal so you can get more people within the AoE. Even though we're running Combat Medic, I still think it's very similar to the very, 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 very similar to the Mega Potion build. Moxie is busted now? I don't think so. At Cauterize at 75% doesn't break cards like this because Moxie's already at 30%. It wasn't that good before. It only gets a little bit better now. I think Sustenance is way better because of the percentage it's at. Yeah, something like this. I personally would probably run Pep in the Step 5 for the utility, but you can run it either way. I think Pep in the Step is a very, very, very good card though, and needs to be run more on Pips. So, Pep in the Step, that's Combat Medic. And now Mega Potion does not change much, but some cards are shifted around a little bit. Mega Pot. Gift Giver always at 3. It's just you need self-sustain. Medicinal 4 or 5. I think I ran. I think AoE on Mega Pot is massive. And Pep Step 4, Reload 4. No, sorry, I did something wrong here. Jesus, I have like points and everything now. I think this is what I was running before, something similar to this. And then a 1-point card. Let's just throw Smithereens in there. 1-point cards are very subjective. I think there's some 1-point cards that aren't, but like this one, it's very subjective what you want. Because he doesn't have many good 1-point cards. I think Smithereens, you get the most value. Now, with Megapot, working in Pep in the Step into the build is a bit tougher. I think one thing I did last patch is reduce Gift Giver and put it in the Pep and Step. But you also have this now too. So I think Acrobatics Trick's going to be good. And it allows you to reduce reload. But you can't run Pep in the Step. And Pep in the Step gets way more value with Megapod. So there's a balancing act going on here. You can do something like this. Because you still want the self-sustain. You need the AoE for Megapod. You need reload for Megapod. It's very tough to not do this. So there's two ways to run this build. Let me just say this. You can run it at Medicinal 5, Reload 5, and another 1-point card here. Or you can run Gift Giver 2, Medicinal 5, or Medicinal 4, and Acrobatics 3. I don't think taking any out of Reload is worth it. So there's multiple ways to run this build. Also, the big thing on Pip is his internal cooldown on 5 seconds. So say you reduce this by 1 and put it in AoE. I think this is the better way to run it. Because this is taking off 0.3 and 1 point takes off 0.6, so 2 autos makes up for that. So you run something like this for Megapod. So those are the two ways to run it. I think this way is probably the way I'd run it. But yeah. That is Megapod. Let's look at Catalyst now, because Catalyst is still good. Moxie 5. That is a must. Now there's multiple ways. Wait, is there now? I think they got rid of the DR card. Duration. Okay. Now I haven't messed with this card, so I don't know how good this is. I don't know how good this is. So let's just do an older build for this. 30%, side tanks 5. This is a very...
Having Trick at 3 favors more aggressive playstyle.
I somewhat agree with that, Daiki. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat. I think having Trick 3 doesn't really favor aggressive playstyles because even if you're sitting way back, you still should be poking with your auto attacks the whole time. Using Pip, you should always be auto attacking. You shouldn't be playing aggressive. You should always be trying to hit something though anyway. So it kind of like gets together. Yeah. So I somewhat agree with that, but I don't think it exactly favors a aggressive playstyle. Okay, so you could always just run from above 1 and Smithereens 1. Yeah. Side tanks. Acumen gets a lot more value now because of Cauterize reduced 75%. It gets more value. All lifesteal cards get more value now. You don't really need Gift Giver. You're looking to sustain yourself a lot here. Maybe some people don't run side tanks with Catalyst. You could always totally get rid of this and put more into From Above and put points into maybe like Shrewd Move or something. But this is the way I like to run my Pip. Very safe Catalyst Pip build. You're sitting back a lot. You're kind of like just looking for that big burst damage with those right click autos. So yeah, this is it. And you're looking for high sustained Acumen Moxie. Also, there is another build I want to do. So let's do this. Let's edit this and make this Kata Team. Let's name this Kata Selfish. The team loadout didn't save. Kata Team is just this. You just add reload into the build at like 3. And you run some Gift Giver. Because you're looking to heal allies more. You still want to run Moxie. 5-3-3, okay. You can run side tanks at like 3. And run a 1-point card. Maybe like From Above again. Reduce the right click cooldown some. Or you can just run Acumen here. I don't know what's better, honestly. I don't know what's better right now. So either or. Side tanks 3 or having Acumen 3. Either or will work here. But this is like a Kata team build. This is where you're using your potions on allies and you're trying to help sustain your team a little bit while you're fragging. Yeah, that's Kata team. And I think that's it for Pip. I don't think there's any way else to run these builds. Yeah, that's about it for Pip. All right. Next champion, Ying. Wait. Yeah, Ying.
Ying.
Ying. Delete, delete, delete. So let's look at life exchange first. I don't think these builds change at all. Yeah, I don't think it changes at all. So
Ying.
Ying. Brittle 5, always. And then I ran Spring Bloom 4. Carry on 3. Health 2. And what did I use for a 1-point card? I ran Fracture just to heal the clones. But you can also run like Encouragement. I think Encouragement's a bit of an undervalued card. Or Rewind. I think these all three are good 1-point cards. Fracture, Encouragement, Rewind. But I think Rewind is a bit undervalued. Or Encouragement. I think I said I don't know what I said, Rewind or Encouragement. This is a bit undervalued. But I think one of these three. I think Rewind, Encouragement will give you the most value over Fracture. Because you don't have much base health. So I would run one of these two, I'd say. I typically run Rewind, so let's go with that. Carry on 3 is what you need, though, to keep clones out all the time. Especially with Chronos, it's nice. This is going to be Life Exchange. And now there's also another Life Exchange you can run. This is something I ran before, and I really liked. And I think also gets a lot of value now because of the Bulldozer changes. I mispointed some of these. I don't know if you run Spring Bloom. You can run it at 1. Oh yeah, I don't think you run Spring Bloom this build. I don't think I ran Spring Bloom this build. So this is a high health clone build. This is, you're putting clones aggressively. You're putting clones in front of teammates. You're using them to body block. And because of the Bulldozer nerf, I think you will get more value with this build. I don't know which one's more valuable in general. Which build? Tanky. We'll just call it Tanky. Tonky. A tanky clone build. And Fracture is important. Rewind is important. Carry on. Yeah, no Spring Bloom in this build. With the nerf to Bulldozer, I think you're going to get more value off Squadron now. So I don't know which one's going to be better this patch. I'm usually not one. I don't really know Focusing Lens and Resonance builds, but let's do it. Focusing Lens. I mean, maybe double off support becomes a thing. So let's look at this. I want Encouragement in this build. Also, this is super weird. I don't know why it's like this. It's supposed to be like fractured or something. Kind of weird. Let's look at this. That could be somewhat value at a 1-point card. This is more value with this in a Resonance build. You want this. I still think you want Squadron, and I think you want Spring Bloom in this build. And run some base health. So we'll run this at 4, this at 1, this at 2. This is at 4. Okay, so the reason for this build is Encouragement. You're getting a lot more kills, and you're still doing healing with your clones, because you should be clearing clones out all the time. Still. And you're still getting elims. And you're also auto-attacking way more, so you're getting elims all the time. Mesmerism, getting that 1 extra ammo for Ying is a lot of DPS, and you're putting clones down all the time, so it makes you not want to reload. Tangible, you just want more base health when you're fragging more. Now, the reason for these two cards is you want to use your clones for yourself a lot, and put your clones in front of you while you're doing damage to tank damage. And yeah. That's mainly it. But run Mesmerism 2. I don't think I really want to fit it into the build. I think higher points of Mesmerism gets way more value since she has a low ammo count. So if anything, I do this. But I think Clone Health also gets way value too. So let's name this Focusing Lens. You're not really shattering your clones in this. You shouldn't be. You should be using it a lot for you should be using clones for self block, like putting your clones in front of you to eat damage for you so you can stay alive. And Spring Bloom helps with that, reduces that. And you put clones to heal allies so you can get value out of encouragement. And when you're running Focusing Lens as an off support, let me spell that again. I'm terrible at spelling, sorry. Yeah, it's not with an E. Lol. Lolvex spelling. Lol. But yeah, you want to use clones to body block, reset, more resets. Yeah. I like that actually. Resonance. What's this build for Resonance? Interesting. It's not bad. That's actually not a bad base build. I think they had Kresnik or something working with them for it. Working with them for base builds. Now I think Rewind's important to Resonance, so we'll keep Rewind. Brittle. I actually think this is a pretty good build. I don't know if Harmony's good. I think you can run like Spring Forward or Efficiency to like keep your clones going. Now again, there is a I can't think of the word, attack in Paladins where you can keep clones constantly running at people. You can keep them all the time running at people. So that's a thing. But I don't think everybody does that. So we're not going to think about that. So In Pursuit is good. Harmony can be good. Damage done. Like you have to shatter for... Wait, this is super weird. Wait, look at the blue outline on these cards. Look at this. Because it's selected? Oh yeah, it is. It just gets bigger. Sorry. Okay, that was weird. Now here's the thing with Resonance. You don't have to shatter. A lot of people think you have to. You have to be shattering. But you don't. You can just be putting clones around point and having the point tank constantly get abused by it. Or putting clones by your teammates, and if they get dove, the clone dies, it does 500 extra damage. So you don't exactly have to run Shattered. This is a Shatter Resonance build. Let's do this. Shat, or we'll just name it Shat Resonance. Lol. I don't really like Harmony, so I'd run something like Encouragement. Yeah, I'd run something like that. Now, I don't think Spring Bloom is good in this build because they have to die to an enemy. But typically they kill them running at them. So I think Spring Bloom at like level 4 is good. And then running Encouragement 5 because you're getting elims, resetting cooldowns all the time. I kind of like that. And then... it bleeped it out. We're gonna right click rezo res. That works. Right click res. And then there's also another way which I like more for Resonance is putting clones near allies and having them die. So that means you'd want Spring Bloom. Carry On's really not that important. You want enemies to kill them, but it's not a big deal. So you want low health. You can run Encouragement. You could still run Carry On, so they can get value from the healing. So I'd still run Carry On in this, honestly. Fracture is not important. You're not shattering. Run Encouragements. Some base health to stay alive. Maybe some Rewind. So you put clones where you use TP. So run this at 4. Something like this. I think... if you put Resonance around point or clones by point with Resonance, name this Rezo. You're putting clones by point, or you're putting clones with your team, and enemies are around that, and they're constantly killing the clones. You're doing damage. You're getting Encouragement procs. The clones stay there longer, so they get value out of healing. So you're getting some damage. You're getting some healing. It's a pretty balanced build. So. We're gonna go with that. And killing, and they're killing typically. You're typically not shattering with this build. You want to keep the clones alive as long as they can here. So yeah, that's Ying. Grohk. Okay, so Grohk is a very weird one for me because I haven't put much thought into Grohk when it comes to Totemic and Spirits lately. Now I should spend some time and do some calculations on Grohk. But like, here's some of my older builds. Like I think I actually want to keep these. I don't think Grohk changes at all. I think Spirit's Domain, maybe I'd want to. Yeah, I think Grohk isn't gonna change much. Grohk doesn't change like at all. So these builds I don't want to change like at all. Now these building videos are good for finding new cards. But with Grohk, there's nothing changed. So, again, I think these are what I want to do on Grohk. Like, no matter what. So here are the builds. Like, Spirit's Domain, boom. Main build, boom. Now, again, with these builds, I want to take some time to theory craft them more as this patch goes on and see if Grohk is viable as a support now. With since his healing wasn't reduced in Spirit's Domain, but I don't think it will be. I don't think I've changed it all. This here is the best Maelstrom Grohk build, and here's a secondary one that's not as good. This one is just honestly better overall. And then this is a secondary Maelstrom build. So that's Grohk. He doesn't change much. So let's look at Furia. Grohk will change when it comes to the first patch of Season 3 because they're going to do some pretty big changes to his cards to help him. Furia, my bae, my waifu, my favorite champion. Let's talk about her. Share. So, I think Furia is OP, chat. I think Furia is the best support in the game. Now, why do I think that? One, Kindle Soul's at a 3-second cooldown base instead of 4 seconds. It was 4 seconds, now it's 3. Now, that doesn't matter much, right? Well, that would make a big deal. Now, the counter argument to that is Lightforge was changed to this card. When you increase it, it does that. So, Lightforge now reduces the cooldown of Pyre Strike by 5 seconds with, if you increase it, decreases the internal cooldown. Now, why do I think it's broken? Because, listen, when you buy Chronos 1, it reduces it to the old base cooldown with Lightforge 5. Okay? Alright? But you don't need Lightforge 5 anymore. And you needed Lightforge 5 before. So now, you have 5 free points to do whatever the heck you want. So, this is what I liked. I think this is what I did before on her. Base health. Very high self-sustain. Furia is a fragger, chat. She loves fragging. So you want those kind of cards. You want increased ammo 1. You can still run Lightforge, but I'd rather run like something like Light of Dawn. High self-sustain, high ally health shield, high health. And then, you don't need this card. It could be decent. Yeah. You could run this for extra ammo while you're fragging. You could run Solar Flare. There's a lot of 1-point cards on Fury that are really, really valuable. Righteous Path, valuable. Stoke the Fire, valuable. Solar Flare, valuable. Ignition, not so much. That's not valuable. Pretty valuable as a 1-point card there. This Lightforge 1 is valuable. So like Lightforge 1, even though it's on a 20-second turn cooldown, that's 5 seconds off of your Pyre Strike every 20 seconds. Now, Wings of Wrath, 0.8 seconds. Wings of Wrath is on a 10-second cooldown. So yeah, Kindle Soul gets more or Lightforge gets more value than Stoke to Fire. So you'd want to run Lightforge over Stoke to Fire. Well, yeah, you do. Okay. So yeah, this is the build like probably on Furia. You don't even have to run Light of Dawn. I don't think Light of Dawn is that good. So you can put full health. You can have 250 extra health, 250 extra health on a support, and 525 second healing over 3 seconds when you heal somebody. That's insane. Well, you have 5 free points. They opened up 5 free points on Furia. So you don't even need Light of Dawn 5. You can run it at 3. I think I'd rather go with this. You don't even need Light of Dawn. It's only 150 health shield. So you can even run something like this, like something more to reduce your utility. You can run Stoke the Fire 3. When you dash, you get more reset on your Pyre Strike, which equals more utility on Cherish. More stuns equals more kills for your team. People undervalue the value of a random stun or a stun from the beam getting a kill. The amount of times in competitive or PPL that I would just throw a beam and it would hit somebody randomly and they die. It happens. Yeah, so there's a lot of options for Furia. I'm going to keep Light of Dawn 3. But base health, Furia frags. Here's a fragger. Cherish, I think, is the best support. Cherish Furia, I'm saying it now, is the best support right now in the game. And I'm almost positive about that. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about Exterminate. Honestly, I don't even talk about Exterminate. It's so bad. Sorry. Solar Blessing. I should be unbiased in these build videos, but I'm not. I can't be. I've played these supports for 3.5 years. Solar. Now, I do think Solar Blessing is better now. Solar Bless. Even though... Hold on, let's look at this real quick. Saved. Solar Blessing. Yeah, whatever. Oh, wait. So all of these... Oh, man. So... We might have to go back through all of our loadouts and change... No, it's okay. Actually, that's fine. Because some of the default loadouts have some similar names. Like, I named this Cherish. This is Cherish. So we'll do this. Main. Chair. So yeah, main Cherish. Solar Blessing. Now, what was I going to look at? Furia. Solar Blessing. It was reduced, the healing, which isn't that big of a deal. Which I think the healing was reduced. I think it was. The healing was reduced, but it's still not big of a deal. And they reduced the slow from 40% to 30%, which helped it a lot. So you want Stoke the Fire in this build. Reduce cooldown of Pyre Strike. You want Solar Flare. So you want to increase the AoE so people can catch it easier. You still want Self-Sustain. You want Light Forge. And you want... maybe max ammo, base ammo. So you want this at 5, this at... maybe both of these at 4. This at 3, and this at 3. Some self-sustain, some increase AoE, and you want double reduction on your Pyre Strike so you can get more beams. More beams, the better. You want to be very careful with using your dash. So maybe you do this. I think this is way more valuable running Light Forge at 5 and Stoke the Fire at 3. Because you don't want to always use your dash to reduce your beam. Because you're wasting your dash and you're easily kill on Furia. If you have dash, you're easily killable. If you don't have dash, you're dead. When you get dove on, you can frag people and maybe ult, but her dash is 600 extra damage on somebody diving you, and you reposition. So, I would rather do this, honestly. I'd rather run Light Forge 5 and Stoke the Fire 3, for that reason. It's not forcing you to dash. You shouldn't be using your dash for a reset unless you know you're safe. Unless you know for a fact you're safe. And I said this, I know this is off topic, but with Furia, the only thing that kills Furia is a tank diving on her. And one thing that at least helps Furia with the tank on diving is that small dash to reposition. So, that's Furia. Oh yeah, I forgot, Exterminate. I don't know, Exterminate sucks. I'm not gonna lie, chat, Exterminate's really bad. I don't know, ammo. Just for people who want to see it. And then another 1-point card or whatever. Whatever you want. Boom. We'll do that. Okay. That's Exterminate. Exter. I think it's terrible, but... Oh, you could also run... Thinking about it, you could... I don't think you can, actually. You could run Conviction. And Exterminate builds. Keeps them way longer in the damage because Exterminate stops on them, but like I don't know, like I think you want more beams on Exterminate. I don't know. I don't know this build. I don't play this. You want more beams, more stuns, more damage. So it's whatever you value more. I think they both can be good. All right, that's Furia. Cherish Furia OP. Boom. Seris. Seris is an interesting one. I think Seris, because they fixed her healing, she's not good. I don't think she's that good. So. Delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. Oh, also, another thing about Furia, the reason Cherish is better to Solar Blessing is because the range. So, Mortal Reach. Now, I think Mortal Reach is the play on Seris because of the extra I think the extra 1 second duration increases the overall healing on it. So if you're gonna run a heal bot, which is Seris, you might as well just do what you do the best, which is heal botting. That's my opinions on Seris. Now, I am on the fence about if Soulforge is good or not. I think it is, but it's disputable. Blood Pack's good. Umbral Gate is a must. Now, I don't think you need Veil anymore. Because I don't really think you need Veil. If anything, maybe a 1-point card, but I don't think so. Dark Whisper isn't that important since you have it base now. Every orb stack you have detonate, increase your move speed by 1% for 3 seconds. I don't think that's good. Ammo you don't need at all anymore. And Spirit Leech is good at 1. So you can get constant ammo in spamming. Spirit Leech is probably her best 1-point card. So if you're going to run a 1-point card, run Spirit Leech. Fade to Black is good. It's not amazing. Alright, it's good. So maybe Soulforge still? Because like, I don't see any other valuable cards on her. Like, you could run Dark Whisper to really get out. You could run Nether Siphon to make sure you sustain and stay alive while you're in your Shadow Trap, because I think it lasts 3 seconds. You can get up to like probably 600 health with this build, because you'd run this at 4. I like Fade to Black though, so I'm gonna run Fade to Black. This at 5. Umbral Gate is one of her most important cards. One of the most important cards on Seris is Umbral Gate. Yo, Jay, thank you so much for 2,000.
They eventually DIDNT buff Rejuve from 5 to 7
yeah,
PP.
They did not buff Rejuve. I was sad about that, but what can you do? Soulforge, 16%. Man, I'm on the fence about Soulforge, chat. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. It's something I have to play with and without. If I'm not going to run Soulforge, maybe run Nether Siphon 4 so you get sustain while you invis, because usually when you're invis, you're a little bit low. You could run Sorceress 4 and spam ultis, even though I don't think Seris ult's that good at a higher level, because it's easily counterable by good players. Good players know how to counter it easily. I still think it's a good card. And even, depending, you can make multiple builds on Seris with this. You could do this. If you're playing against a comp with minimal shields, minimal CC immunes, so like not Cassiel anymore, like Lian ult, minimum of that stuff, shields, that, dashes, those are the main 3. High mobility like Eevee, Maeve, they're very hard to catch in Seris ult. If you're running against a comp that's very stationary with not many shields, I think this Sorcerer's card's good. If not, I'd run like Dark Whisper 4, 32% move speed plus Umbral Gate plus the base speed. You are quite literally zooming when you go invis, and zooming while you're invis is massive because you want to be able to reposition, because you won't have it for like another 20 seconds or something. It's ridiculous. But you can run 3-3 though. You can run at 24%. It's a bit overkill at 32, and run more Fade to Black so you get it more often. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Soulforge. I'd replace this Dark Whisper for Soulforge if I was going to run it, but I'd run this for now. Main Mortal. Let's see. Talents. Now, I think Royal Reach is the best. Other people have said otherwise, and I respect that. Well, I think Mortal Reach is best, but let's look at Agony. Agony, I don't know exactly how to build, because it's something I've tested and I haven't liked, so I haven't tried in a while. Which I should honestly try more. I should try to make it a thing. Agony should be base kit. I agree. That's one thing I've said for a long time on Seris. The Agony should be reworked slightly and put into base kit. But I think you can run a very similar build to this with Agony. If you're running this as a main support. So we're going to run main sup Ago. So main support Agony. Now you're the main healer here, but you're looking for the stuns. You want to run Umbral Gate 5 still, or 4, depending on what else I put in the build. Blood Pact. a must. You need self-sustain on every support. You can't have a support without self-sustain. That's one reason why Grohk is not that good. There's a lot of reasons why Grohk isn't good, but that's one of them. Spirit Leech, Fade to Black. Now you could run something with Ren Soul. You could reduce cooldown of it to get more stuns. More stuns the better. And run this at 2. You could do something like this. And reduce cooldown of Ren Soul, so you constantly have stuns up. Now let me look at something real quick. Ren Soul's 10 seconds, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could run something like this with Agony main support. Reduce the cooldown of getting the stun. Like, yeah. I don't know. If I were to play main support Agony, I'd run something like this. Yeah, I would run something like this. Though the issue is, since you're stunning, Umbral Gate gets less value, but it's still valuable. Because again, this is the one thing I'll have to do a guide on this one time. But on line of sight supports like Seris, Stamba, Io, any of them, movement speed is valuable. Because the faster you can move in a line of sight and move out of line of sight, the less damage you take, the quicker you can get a heal on somebody, the quicker you can reposition to heal somebody. That's why I thought Otherworldly was so good on Damba before. Because movement speed on line of sight healers are amazing. Something like Jenos, you don't need movement speed, obviously, because you heal through walls. So, yeah, I'd run something like this for main support Agony. Soul Collector. I don't think Soul Collector is good for, like, I think it's good for main support to live. Maybe if you're running on, like, a smaller map, like, Bright Marsh, Jag Falls, where you don't need that AoE, the extra range on the heal, or the extra duration, which you always need the extra duration, so you can really be pumping out the heals. Since she is a heal bot, she's designed like a heal bot. But if I were to run, I actually think that if you're gonna run Soul Collector, you're gonna run this build. I don't think the build changes at all. You're just gonna go use your Q more often. So yeah, I would say, yeah, okay. If you're gonna run me heals on Seris with Soul Collector, I would say you use this build still. Now you could run a damage Seris loadout with something like this with Soul Collector or Agony. I'm gonna do a Soul Collector one because the Agony one, I think Soul Collector is better as a DPS build. You want Umbral Gate, even though you're pressing Q all the time. The issue is with Seris damage builds is you have no self-sustain, which makes sense on damage healers. Not all of them have self-sustain. So like you don't run Blood Pact. You're gonna be healing, but not that much. You could run Blood Pact actually. You can get a heal every so often. Spirit Leech still gets value because you're gonna be healing people every so often. But the difference is you're gonna want to run base health, because if you're doing damage, base health is nice, and it stacks on with Soul Collector, so you might as well run it. You'd also run Nether Siphon for when you get low. When you get low, you shadow travel. You can use this to sustain yourself. This could be your self-sustain. Use this as your overall self-sustain. There's a lot of different ways to do this build. Yo, Creepy, thank you so much for $10 super chat. Hey! Hello, my fellow large support main. How you doing, my friend? Today, your daily super chat. I love you, buddy. I appreciate it so much. How'd you like your name being read at the end of the last video? Because you are now a fanatic or dedicated. I can't remember which one. Not dedicated, but big fan. I don't remember which one was it, Creepy. It's one of the two. But thank you, my friend. We might be broke soon. Yeah, you might want to stop soon. You've been donating every time I stream at the beginning or at some point. So, Fnatic? Yeah, I thought it was Fnatic. Thank you very much, my friend. You might want to stop. Don't be broke for me. It's not worth it, trust me. I'm a good investment, but, like, not yet. All right. Okay, so yeah, something like this. There's multiple ways to do this. Nether Siphon, you could run Dark Whisper. You could run some Veil. I mean, why not? You could run Sorceress. Sorceress is now a card. Ammo. Ammo is nice, even though you got 2 extra base ammo. Yeah, something like this for soul damage. I would run this, actually. I actually like this build. I'm running Soul Collector, I'm running at people, I'm getting some self-sustain looking allies, getting quick little self-sustain, get some extra damage or some extra ammo out of that. I need to lean back in my chair. I'm gonna hurt my back the way I'm sitting. Yeah, and when I get low, I siphon out and I get 600 extra health. Soul damage, boom, done. That's Seris. We're not gonna go over Agony DPS because like it's an odd one. I would still use this for Agony DPS. Yeah. But yeah, that is Seris. Io, Skye, then Torvald chat, by the way, so you guys can keep up with me what's next. Io. So, Io. Io changes, actually. Io changes a good bit. So let's go over her. Excuse me, sorry. Excuse me. Moonwalk. Moonwalk is so valuable. Let's go over DR build. DR build. Damage reduction build. Moonwalk, very valuable. 30% increased capacity is massive. Even though you have increased capacity, I still think regaining some healing is still nice. Now, I think there's something to this card. Because even though they reduced the base health of the dog slightly, with the Bulldozer nerf from 75 scaling to 20% scaling, I think this gets way more value because with DR, you're putting dog on point. Way more survivable with this card. But I don't know if we're going to run it. So let's keep going through these. You could run this at 4. Now, if I were to run Feral Strength, I'd run this at 3 and run this at 3. Something like this, yeah. Extra 600 health is awesome. And you could also run base health. You could run the shield. This card isn't good on this loadout here. Deploy range. You want to run deploy range. It's always really good. You don't want to be as close to point when you put your dog every point. You want to be able to be as far away as you can. So yeah, if I'm going to run this card now because of Bulldozer's nerf, I will put it in this way. But if I don't, this build's going to be very similar to the other build, old build. 2-point card. Maybe health. Swift Arrows is always good, but with Moonwalk now, Swift Arrows now gets less. You could always reduce this by 4 to 4%, but when you run out of Moonlight, you have no way else to sustain it. So it's a risky play reducing this. But if I were to run a 2-point card, I'd run this 2% after 1%. With the increased capacity, that 2% gets more value without the increased capacity. So is this card good? I mean, it was good before because you could run it higher, but since you need Moonwalk now, you can run it at lower levels and get more value because the capacity is increased. You could always reduce Restored Faith and increase it into Sanctum, but yeah, I'd run something like this for DR build. So let's make that, and let's do DR Tanky Doggo. This is for Tanky Doggo. You already saw it, but let's just remake it into a build so I can test it in the future. Capacity. And then 2. And again, you could reduce this and put this into here. So there's many ways you can run this. But I do this because I like self-sustain. But, sorry, I need to do this. Sorry. You don't need this card. You need Moonlight Garden. And I'd probably do something closer to this because you need some sort of self-sustain on your Moonlight. Even though you have increased capacity, the healing is less now. So that capacity makes up for the lack of healing it does. So when you run out, you're going to run out about the same amount of time as you did before. So you need the extra Moonlight regain game. But this is Tanky Doggo. And I don't think you can run it any tankier, honestly. I think 600 is the max. You can't really reduce any of these points, to be honest. So, Io, Lifelink. Lifelink is an interesting one. I thought initially when the patch came out that Lifelink would be meta on Io rather than DR because they reduced the DR from 25% to 15%. Now, do I think it still could be? Yeah. Do I think it's going to be? Probably not. Because the DR is okay, but the value comes on putting dog on point. But lifelink still could be value. So let's look at a lifelink build. Now with lifelink, you are not having dog on point. You have dog near you. So I still think Moonlight capacity is huge because you always want that increased healing, that extra healing. You'd want to run this here at about 1 or 2, because you want to be able to. The thing is with lifelink, you want to be able to reposition your dog. You are micromanaging your dog so much more in this build, and you need to be micromanaging your dog more. And Swift Arrows enables that. And this, compared with the, combined with the increased capacity, helps you reposition it more. Self-sustain, a must. Now, I do think Protectors actually gets value here because you're gonna be you're gonna be next to your dog a lot with this build. You should be using your dog a lot in this build for self-sustain. Now, you're a lot more tanky with this build than the other build, by the way, or you should be, because you're getting the lifelink healing, so you're able to frag more. But as long as you're near your dog, and then you could run extra deploy range. You could also run Moonlight Garden, but you're around your dog a lot, like I said, so I don't know if you need Moonlight Garden. You could run deploy range, or you can run Moonlight Garden at 2 for extra Moonlight gain, so you can gain 10%, like basically every second of Moonlight back. Now, there's also another way to build this. You could replace this for this, so you have more confirmable Moonlight gain. Because you're not always going to be near your dog. Most of the time you should be, but this you should always be able to shoot somebody with how you position and like shoulder peeking and stuff. So they're about even. It's whatever you want to run. Honestly, I like this. Yeah, this is lifelink. I think. I think. Yeah. Now, health on this could be good. So you could replace nothing. You could replace this for some extra Luna health and reduce this. Maybe even reduce this a little bit for Luna health. This is also another way you could be running this. So let's do this like we did with let's do this like we did with the other build. Let's trade out this. Let's do lifelink, tanky, doggo. So if you're gonna run a tanky doggo with lifelink, redeploy, capacity, AoE, max 2, 3, wait, 3, reduced. Yeah. So, or you could always do this with these builds. You could reduce this by 1, increase this. It's not bad. But yeah, if you want tanky doggo, this is it for lifelink. And then sacrifice. It's a weird build. Sacrifice is odd. We're just gonna name it Sack. Wonder if that's bleeped. Let's see. Do I have to change the build to name it Sack? Sacri. We're just gonna name Sacri. Sacrifice. I mean, you can run it as a support, and if you do, you probably want to just run DR or something. You could run a DPS sacrifice build. Sorry, I got my headset caught. This little thing here gets caught on my desk sometimes. It's like the management thing for the headset. DPS build. I think Crescent's important on a DPS build. Being able to get in and out of fights is nice. You're not really worried about your healing, but you do want some self-sustain. You want a way to self-sustain a little bit, and you still want to heal allies. So this isn't that important. Base health, run that at 4. Swift Arrow's not important. You could always run Skywalker at 1. You actually could run Skywalker at 1 with a sacrifice build. You dash in on somebody and then auto attack and float at them. That actually could be something. Remember that, chat. Remember that, chat. Skywalker might be OP with sacrifice. You heard it here first. Doggo's not important. Self shield, I guess, is pretty good in this. You could run this at 400. You dash in on somebody. Start auto attacking them in the air. Get some. You float slowly, so it messes up their shooting. Yeah, I don't know. Sacrifice. This is sacrifice. Okay. Pretty cool build. I don't know. I like it, actually. All right, so that is all the supports. But with this patch comes 2 newer, somewhat supported champions, and we're going to talk about them today. Now, who am I talking about? Skye and Torvald. We'll talk about Skye first. Or Moji. Moji has two. No, we're not going to talk about Moji. She's not that good. Skye can be an all support. She can't be a main support. Remember that. She is not a main support. Use her as an off support. And we might be running into an off support meta like it was like 2 years ago. So, yeah. Let's see. Yo, Jay,
not to rain on your parade, but before you make Skye loadouts, can you import mine and see if they're good enough? I hope IDIDNT pay up for it. No, eyes face with tears of joy. Oops.
Jay, I want to build these builds. I don't want to import people's builds, but maybe after I finish this, I will import your loadouts and check them out. But I don't want to import people's builds. I want to do this myself. So, yeah, sorry. After I'm done with this, I'd be down to look at them. But, yeah. So, let's just delete these. So the way Skye works now is it got changed. Talents. Smoke and Dagger. Benefits from smokescreen cards and your loadout now also benefit allies. Enter smokescreen. Additionally, allies are healed 200 health every 1 second, and your smokescreen's duration is increased by 1 second. So, there's a little more theory crafting with this one. You have to min-max it. One of those builds were min-maxed perfectly, but I deleted it, so. Throw smoke, grant stealth. It actually doesn't say the duration of smokescreen here. That's very interesting. But, without further ado, let's jump into it. So, healing vapors. You want to run that. You want to run dissipate for movement speed. Utility cards are great. But now you also need to run reset cards on this. So you want to be able to reset it all the time. So you could run this. You could run... they got rid of duration increase card. So that's good. Reduce base cooldown. And then ammo. Ammo, this card, some people say, it's not valuable. It's only 4 ammo. Some champions only have 4 ammo. Makoa's out of ammo. Walks into your smoke. Boom. Full clip. Ying, one ammo. Walks into your smoke. Boom. Almost full clip. So, yes, I think this is valuable. Very valuable as a 1-point card. Now, if you run it at 5, it's more valuable in a lot more champions, but you can get some value out of 4 ammo. Let's see. Now, the issue is with this build is I don't have Poisoner. This build has to be min-max, so I have to think about this. Poison Bolt, 8 seconds. Smokescreen, 12 seconds. An 8-second cooldown reduces it by 6 seconds. So 6 seconds, 8 seconds. By the time you have smoke up, you can poison again in 2 seconds, which reduces it to 6 seconds. But this reduces it by 2.4. This is too much math for me to do in this video. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot that goes into min-maxing it. And then you also have to add in Chronos on these. So this is something I'm going to have to do off stream. But your loadout's going to look something very similar to this. You're probably going to want Poisoner as well. So maybe you get rid of Dissipate for Poisoner. So you can reduce the cooldown of Poison Bolts, reduce cooldown of Poison Bolts, reduces the cooldown of Confound, or reduces the cooldown of Smoke via Confound. Now you could also do this. A little bit more spammy, and you put Healing Vapors up to 5. And that's going to be 675 over 2 seconds. Because it's 100 health every second. So it's weird how that works. It should just be over 1 second. I don't know why. I can understand why it's 2 seconds. So they don't have to have decimal points. But you could run something like this. Very similar. Now, if you want to do the math on this, feel free. But something very close to this Yeah. Healing Skye. not much I can talk about here. Not much I can talk about here because this is going to require a lot more math. So I'll have to do a future video on Skye. Specifically like a champion chat or something with more information and more like a more calculated build. So yeah. It's going to look something similar to this. Healing Skye can be a thing. Off support Skye at least. So that's Skye. Torvald. Torvald's pretty simple here. So let's look at him. The reason why I say Torvald's way more supporting now is protection 6-second cooldown. Field study I don't think is that good. Thanks Grandpa. Increase protection shield health by 500. So you can put a 1500 shield on somebody with a 6-second cooldown, right? So this card here is the reason why I think Torvald is way more valuable now. And why is that? Glyph of Freedom. Why does this matter? When you heal somebody and then with your shielded target, if it heals them, you now get the effective Glyph of Freedom. You could run this at 4. You can get 32% cooldown reduction on your shield, which is about 2 seconds off, roughly 2 seconds off. So the heal here, you can just run it at 1. It's not that big of a heal, but the value of this is comboing with Glyph of Freedom. And then you can also run, because there is no absolutely zero reduction of protection now. So Glyph of Freedom, that's why it gets even more value. Wind Dancer, I think the movement speed is amazing. Now, one bad thing about Wind Dancer is when you increase somebody's movement speed, they get thrown off by it. So typically, when you're playing casuals, this card could not be good, but they'd have to just get used to it because this card's very good. People who aren't used to it can get thrown off by it, but that's the only thing. Then you run, let's see, 2 ammo. Again, 2 ammo is still value. If you're pocketing something like Drogos, Cassie, 2 ammo is huge. If I'm playing a Cassie and I'm getting shielded by somebody, I'm like, wow, thank you for that 2 ammo. That just helped me kill somebody. Now, the other cards, I don't know. You could run Health Shield on Elim. Since you run the heal card, it could be some value. You could run movement speed while using recharge, but it's a lot shorter now, so it's not value. So I'd run Time Shaper and like Glyph of Siphoning, something like that. Increase the heal, or even increase the ammo for your protection target. Because again, if I'm Cassie and I'm out of like I have 1 shot left and I have 4 extra ammo, I'm like, oh my god. And I pop off, you know. Typically with your pocket targets, let's talk about this really quick because this is important. So pocket targets, a lot of champions can be pockets. Leanne, Shaolin maybe now, Cassie, Leanne, Strix kind of used to. Drogos can be, but not so much. Bomb King, 4 ammo does a big deal. Tyra, not really. Willow can be if you're running Dive Bomb Willow. Lengths. Androxus, 4 ammo. A big deal. When you're low on ammo and you have 4 extra ammo, it's massive. Evie, 4 ammo. She has a 6 max clip. Lex, 6 max clip. I think Lex can be increased. I don't know.
Lex.
No, he can't. Okay, sorry. I wasn't 100% sure. But 6 max ammo. Buck, 5 max ammo now? So if you're pocketing a Bounce House Buck or something, they have 1 shot left. You heal them. They have max ammo now. Like, there is so much value to this ammo card, especially at 4. And then Maeve. Maeve doesn't have ammo. Maeve can be pocketed, though. Zin can be pocketed now. And 4 ammo to 10. Zin, 4 ammo to a 10 or a 9 max with increasable by 1. So we can have up to 14. But still, 4 is a big deal. Actually, Andrew, let me look at this. I think Andrew got a card. Yeah, increased max ammo. So even though he has 6 base, you increase it by 5. Again, 11 shots, 4 extra to that is amazing. So that's where I can justify this ammo card at 2 and the heal. I could even, honestly, I'm not going to lie with you guys. I can justify running this at 1 and running this at 3. Because all you're using this, because as 375 health is okay, but it's not amazing. An extra You're losing, honestly, I think Life Giver is straight up there to proc Glyph of Freedom. That's it. That's all I'm using this for. 6 extra ammo on a lot of those champions, full clip them. Now, I think 4 is a perfect min-max. I think giving somebody extra 75 health could be valuable. I think 4 is a perfect min-max. But if you're using somebody like Andro Pocket and they have 11 ammo, you give them a 6 ammo, you're giving them half their clip. And a lot of your pocket targets are DPS. When you're playing Torvald, you're usually solo pocketing someone. Remember that. You typically solo pocketing people with Torvald. You could run it more of a supporty role, and this card gets less for value, but you're usually solo pocketing and having somebody carry you as Torvald. That's the goal of Torvald, enabling a DPS. And this build enables a lot of DPS a ton. Again, you could run this and run this, but I think that's it for Torvald. I think this is it. I think this ammo guard gets so much value. It's ridiculous. Who's the other one that had ammo? What other support earlier that we were talking about gives ammo? Real quick before we end this. Oops, I tapped my calculator button. Who was it? Grover, Jenos, Damba, Furia. Furia? No. I think Furia gets her own ammo. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Oh, it was Skye. Thank you, chat. Skye. That's why I can justify this card. Because 4 ammo is a massive deal on a lot of champions. It's literally the same thing for Skye. It's the same thing for Torvald. Yeah. So, that's it. That is Season 3. All supports, including non-supports, builds. Honestly, I think Season 3 builds are so much different on a lot of supports than pre-Season 3, so Season 2 builds. Not every single support's changed, like Grohk, like Jenos. Damba's actually changed a decent bit for my builds. Ying. I think the builds are fresh now, though. I think Furia got fresh new builds. I think Pip's probably the same. Grover got fresh new builds. Damba got fresh new builds. Io got fresh new builds. Seris, you can do more fresh new builds since you don't have to run Soul Forge. Ying, because of bulldozer changes, you can run more tanky clones. I think all the supports, and Damba with Gord, I think all the supports got fresh new builds. I think this is one of the best things about Season 3 is freshness. Breath of fresh air, you know? Something new, something to try, things to test. That's why I like Season 3 so much. Everything's new. Is it good or bad? I don't know. But yeah, these are Season 3 supports built, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I also hope everybody here leave down in the comments. Tell me what you think about these builds and what you're going to do with them. Again, use these as a guideline, as a basis for your support builds. Not all supports are the same. Now, I do think there are builds that you should be running, that you shouldn't change anything, that you should be running. But, use these as a guideline. You don't have to 100% use every single point that I used in card. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. I also hope all of you enjoy your day, night, evening, morning, dawn, dusk, whatever it is where you live. I love you beautiful faces, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. And a huge shout out to my members: Banana Bob, Branch Fam 805, Clayton Nabidi, Connor, Dark Phantom, Jay, Mason Lane, Sivas, Raph, Just Previous, and to all my other members, thank you so much.